live, and we're live. Do you like that, what I did there, Royster, with the
Yeah.
Wayne's World?
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you ever seen Wayne's World? That's the Wayne's World. Well, you never
Have you ever
know.
seen it? Hey,
You ever seen this Wayne's World?
welcome to Loser Leaves Wrestling. Loser Leaves Wrestling. This is the woo woo woos and what's of AEW Dynamite. We just finished AEW Dynamite, and it's Thanksgiving, Royster.
It sure is. Hey,
Very exciting stuff. What?
I'm thankful for you.
Oh, stop it. I'm thankful for you too. Don't even start now. We can't.
Hey.
This is that type of show.
Hey, we're both thankful for Tam.
We're both thankful for Tam. Everyone, show your thanks for Tam in the comments. Let everyone know we're thankful for Tam. That's the real gift of the season. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Sit down, have a good time. This is so wow, what a Thanksgiving episode. I really love that the Thanksgiving, it was very Thanksgiving-y from the get-go.
Yeah, but not too Thanksgiving-y.
Yeah, there was only one Thanksgiving segment, which was fine. I do want a food fight.
Yeah.
I do want a food fight.
Tune into Friday Night SmackDown. I'm sure you'll get a big old food fight.
We have some comments here. We have Chica Mark saying "aw" in reference to us our thankfulness. Everyone say what you're thankful for in AEW Dynamite. And also she writes, "Thank you, Tam." Chica Mark says thankful for Tam too. We're all thankful for this stream. Excellent job. Let's start talking about the show, right?
Let's jump in. Yeah, let's jump into it.
Let's just jump in. It was okay. Well, Thanksgiving, Chicago. And the way they started off this Thanksgiving in Chicago was with CM Punk coming out. CM Punk for his match with QT Marshall. And they were all excited to see this match. People were amped up. And in comes MJF. And boy, this was a hot little segment. MJF interrupts them. And they have this back and forth that lasts for what seemed like forever.
Well, yeah, I tried to do some math here. And so normally AEW typically will start with a match, and the match will go uninterrupted. So there's no commercial break through the first segment, and it goes that entire first segment. This interview went the entire first segment.
Yeah.
And so that's like 15 to 20 minutes. Like that's a long time. It was a long time.
It was a long time. And it felt like that too. MJF starts it off. And he has some good zings in there. I wrote down a few of them. He's talking about UFC, Punky Brewster, a little light with the stuff, making fun of those things, which all expected. Then CM Punk comes out. Wait, what would you think of the first portion, MJ's first portion?
Well, we're going to get to it, I think, because I thought it was a little weak. And now I understand why it was a little weak, because they had another 10 minutes after.
They had a slow build. Then CM Punk comes out saying that he's a little disappointed, calls him a less famous Miz, which was a nice little thing.
I will say I'm taking notes, I take notes. And when something really good happens or something gets me, I do this. And I did that a few times during this. They got me a few times.
They just love dropping these like little WWE innuendos. They love it. They love dropping the King of Kings and hustle, loyalty, respect.
I love it. I think it's
well, I do like it too. But it was just a little bit too long. I think that if it were shortened a little bit, if maybe MJF didn't have his second win, and maybe save that for next week or something like that, because like some of those things he said were pretty harsh, and some of the comments he's just like, and maybe you're the one that needs to go to sleep because of the bags under his eyes. pretty hard to watch. Let us know if you're thankful for that. And then the one other comment that was there was the four pillars. He's like, you've been replaced by Britt Baker. A lot of fun there. A lot of fun there.
I also like you're never going to be number 2 in this company unless Tony Khan has a daughter and she goes up and you marry her. Really good too.
Very saucy comments throughout. But then we followed up with a match, with the QT match.
Yeah.
You seem deflated. You sound like the crowd in Chicago.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, so this segment, let's say, was 20 minutes. This interview,
let's say 20 minutes, sure.
The back and forth. They've never done this before. This is without a doubt the longest talking segment in the history of the company.
Yeah.
And this is only the second time, last week being the first time, and it involved your new heavyweight champion in Bryan Danielson. This is only the second time that the show has ever started with a talking segment too. I believe they should absolutely never do a talking segment this long ever again. Not necessarily because it was bad, but because one, it's not your game. You're not a talkie TV show. You're a wrestling
That's not
show.
why people watch you. That's
exactly. And you're never going to get a better crowd, two better workers, like two better talkers. Like this was the perfect storm to do this. Never do it again. And if you never do it again, I think the segment's great. But if they're like, oh yeah, this went pretty well, we should do this all the time. Next week it's going to be 10, and I don't know. QT Marshall.
This really should be a seldom used because like this is the two. It's CM Punk and MJF. You're going to give them 20 minutes. Okay, yeah. I understand. I get that. But like having that match afterward, I think was a genuinely bad idea because I think the match should have either been canceled. Or something happened because that's just such a letdown. You just had CM Punk go against MJF. That's like having the end of the match and then give us the beginning. Like we had this QT setup. I think either that should have been canceled or CM Punk was so fired up that MJF is just like, you don't have it anymore. This has been a lackluster return. This has been, you struggling to defeat opponents that are mediocre. No one better example than QT Marshall. Want to have him just literally before the bell rings, beat the shit out of him, throw him outside, do all your greatest hits, CM Punk, and then just have it be a non-match. They don't have those in AEW. Let there just be a non-match.
Interesting. Yeah.
No one would have been mad at that. No one in the crowd, everyone would have loved it, and it would have showed a different side of Punk that we're looking for.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. And the booking in my head was rather than a non-match, like MJF is walking up the ramp as QT Marshall is walking down the ramp, and MJF standing at the top of the ramp to watch the beginning of the match. And the bell rings and Punk beats him in like 30 seconds, just squashes him. He's so fired up from that promo that he just like hits the go to sleep, knocks him out. And then MJF is looking and they make eye contact, and that's how the segment closes. Perfect. I love in my own personal life, and we know this, I love nepotism. Hey, let's give all the breaks to all the people that we love. Fine. But there's just something about QT Marshall that I just am like, you're only here because of Cody. I don't know why it bothers me. So I think it's because the roster is so stacked. And I get it. You need a heel who can easily get beat. But if you're going to make this match competitive, then just put like Joey Janela in that spot. Put any other heel in that spot. It doesn't need to be QT Marshall. There's nothing that he does that's special over anyone else. He's just like a good professional wrestler who's boring and the crowd doesn't care about. There's someone else that could be in that spot over him. And it just
and he is good. He is good. It's just the fact also, the thing is like, he is fundamentally sound. QT Marshall is fundamentally sound, airtight. Boy, does he sell like an idiot. Like he's like flopping his arms around. He sells like he's trying to train people how to sell, like he's like, you do it like this, and like, that's great for like people. It just feels very 101. And everything he does feels 101. And it's such good 101, but like,
I don't need it. I don't need television.
We get CM Punk being with the GTS, they go to sleep. Even JR is saying that this hasn't been his best showing throughout the thing. Which was weird choice.
At the end of that match, I counted it, and that was 36 straight minutes of CM Punk on my television, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it could have been 25 minutes, and I would have been just as happy.
100%. Boy, we got to move on from here. We got Tony Schiavone hanging out with Jurassic Express and Christian Cage, and Christian's fired up. Yeah, Christian says they have a lot of momentum, and he's going to make damn sure that Jurassic Express wins those tag team championships. This was fine. It just seems like we get this. This feels like the Eddie Kingston and Moxley in the back segments a while ago, where they just kept happening, and they're fine. They just didn't go anywhere or do anything. Did you have any thoughts on this? Or
pretty much the same. I feel like Jurassic Express and Christian are kind of stuck in Groundhog's Day, it's just it's just the same stuff over and over again. I will say every time I watch Dynamite with my partner, which isn't that often now, But anytime Christian's on the screen, I tell the same story over and over again about how Vince McMahon would never make Christian heavyweight champion because he thought he was too ugly.
Yeah,
I think Christian's handsome. I think
He's
he's a
fine.
handsome man.
He's fine.
Whatever.
He's fine. He's whatever. I have you remember Stone Cold Steve Austin called him a creepy little bastard? Did I tell you this? Just for our listeners, this is a LLW exclusive. I went to a Stone Cold Steve Austin book signing, and I'm just like, I was young. I was just like, hey, can you call me a creepy little bastard? He's like, sure, get out of here, you creepy little bastard. It was great. It was great. We're all having fun here. Hey, give us a Hong Kong. Tell us what you're thankful for. We want to hear it. Next up, we have Eddie and catering. And Eddie already calls out last week. No one could say a sentence without being interrupted. Maybe that was 2 weeks ago. And here he's at catering, just randomly saying what he's thankful for. And in comes 2.0. In comes 2.0. And they like, you want to know what you are? You're not hungry anymore. He's like, I'm eating cake. Like, it was just a dumb segment. It was a real dumb. I like the idea of it. I like some of, like, I'm very confused because they had a similar segment later on with Jericho. And are they going to have a pairing of Eddie and Jericho versus 2.0?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I was thinking about this, and I guess we can talk about the Jericho thing now since we're here. My feeling is either Jericho gets involved in the match on Rampage because he'll be at the commentary booth, and it's just a one-time thing, or it's Eddie is going to beat Garcia, and then Jericho maybe has a thing going with H2O. Or H2O, but 2.0.
H2O. I prefer H2O, honestly. I do prefer that.
I want more H2O. The H2O. I'll keep doing it now.
I like the H2O. They're called H2O. We're like Jim Cornette with our little pet names for things. Like he calls Kenny Omega, Kenny Olivier. He calls Matt Jackson Pie Face.
So rude.
He is pretty rude.
It's so hard.
We got Joe Redlitz here. I missed the old wrestler book signing days. Stone Cold was the best. Yes, I do remember that time. My father also poked Chris Jericho in the face one time. That's a different story. Literally touched his forehead. It was weird. Chica Marks writes, I'm thankful for pro wrestling and LLW bringing me so much joy in dark times.
Oh yeah, Chica Marks.
Outstanding. One I'm not thankful. Continue.
Wait. I was just one other thing that I wanted to mention that I think was really small, but Daniel Garcia throws the coffee in Eddie's face, right? And then Eddie explodes, he gets up or whatever. Daniel Garcia is just like, he moves really weirdly. He's like
very herky-jerky.
Yeah. Like he's always ready to like be a Greco-Roman wrestler. Like he's always like, you want to wrestle? You want to grapple?
That's right. You remember Ready to Rumble? Sal
Mandini.
That's the best part of that movie. Yeah, speaking of things that we shouldn't be thankful for, we should be. I don't know how to transition. Gun Club versus Bear Country. Gun Club versus Bear Country, and I was actually kind of excited about this match because I thought it was going to be Austin and Colton, but no, it's Billy and Colton. They are literally brushing Austin under the rug. They're like, forget about this one. He's a little short.
Well, I think what happened was, this match was a nothing match, unfortunately, because I think Bear Country is pretty cool, and I don't know how to feel about the Gun Club yet. You know how to feel about the Gun Club? You're into it. Okay, that's fair. I'm into them being ass boys. I'm into that.
Yeah, ass boys is very funny. Ass boys is a great thing to chant. Like I can't wait for them to get over, if they get over enough, to be ass boys. Like that's very exciting.
Well, I think what happened here, now that I'm thinking about it, now that we're talking about it, the reason it was Billy and Colton and not Austin is because Darby runs out after, right, and crushes Austin. Oh, Darby's not going to crush
real
Billy
quick.
Gunn.
Gun Club wins. Colton wins with some move called the 45. I didn't even see it. My internet was splotchy. But then out comes Sting. Austin goes to confront Sting, and like you said, Darby just flattens.
Yeah,
but that was Darby. He has those moments.
To do that to Billy Gunn though. Like
no,
it needed to be Austin. So, but someone brought it up to me. A friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, Alejandro Merkin, brought up to me that he thinks that they did that as a tip of the cap to when that fan crushed Seth Rollins on Monday. But I don't think that's true.
That's actually pretty funny because they're on the same spot in the entrance ramp where it happened. I hope they're not that weird about it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Darby would do this regardless.
let's just, because Darby is literally a highlight machine. He has these moments like that one long run at MJF into the barricade.
Yeah.
Amazing.
One other thing that I did want to point out too, before we move on, unless you have more to say about Darby.
No.
This is like a very nerdy thing that I'd like to point out. I actually tweeted about it on the LLW Twitter during the show because I was
on the
so excited about
Loser Leaves Pod on Twitter, correct?
Yeah. There's a Norwegian like hard rock like metal band called Turbo Negro. And they were on, like, you remember when Jackass had the spin-off shows on MTV, like Wild Boys and Viva La Bam?
Sure. I watched them all.
Yeah. The Turbo Negro did the theme song or they took a Turbo Negro song.
I'm going to give you what you need.
No, the other one, to Wild Boys. But that band also appeared on Viva La Bam, which is how I found out about them. This is all to say that the lead singer of Turbo Negro died last week. And in honor of his death, Darby did special face paint to honor him.
Did the Paul Stanley Kiss Star Boy.
Yeah. So that was in honor of him. So if anybody caught that, I caught it.
All you Turbo Negro fans out there, let us know what your thoughts are. Tell us your favorite Turbo Negro moment. I want to hear about it. We got moving on. We got to go on. We got Cole and Bobby Fish, and they're better friends than the best friends. It feels empty when Trent's not there.
Yeah, it does. I miss Trent.
I miss Trent too.
Honestly,
I don't like them saying best friends unless Trent's there because they're the best friends.
Right. Yeah.
Orange Cassidy is friends with them, but the best friends are Trent and Chuck.
Yeah.
And I'm a little insulted that Yuta's just wandering in here like he's Trent.
Yeah. I don't
know.
I don't really like that whole act very much.
Not
like
anymore.
Orange Cassidy on his own. I think Orange Cassidy is more effective on his own.
Yes.
I mean, he's always been part of the group, but I don't like him in tag team matches. I like him in singles matches.
100%. He's awkward in tag team matches because I hate seeing him with a hot tag. Don't like it. Moving on. We got the most shocking part of the night. Team Taz has signed Dante Martin. Dante Martin is sitting in a room. For some reason, they're having this this little contract signing. Like, I don't understand how they would come to that agreement without Dante Martin being like, oh yeah, I'm interested. So obviously there's interest. Leo's completely caught off guard. And they signed Dante. Is this the worst business decision Dante's ever made? You got to make him young, I guess, right?
I guess so. I don't know. It's interesting. I was thinking, like, where's this going to go? Because everybody universally seems to love Dante and Leo as a tag team.
Yeah.
And me too. I also do. So I don't know. Maybe there's more interest. I mean, once they have a singles match, their singles match is going to be insane.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a really good question. Maybe it's Swerve. Maybe it's a Swerve too.
Honestly, what I thought they were going with was like, oh, they're in this meeting where he's trying to pressure him, and Leo's just like, no, you don't want to do this. I got this thing. And then he's just like, listen, you're all pulling me each different direction. I want to be with my brother. And then that's a way to bring his brother back so that they could have their tag team reform or something like that. But this kind of, like, I don't know what to expect. I'm interested, but I have no faith in Team Taz.
Well, what would be pretty cool
I have
is
no
if
faith.
His brother does come back and they're together under Taz, and then like they're going for the tag team titles and Taz is their manager. I'd like that.
Oh, I'd be fine if Top Flight all go to Team Taz. Maybe they'll give them some success. We have some opinions here. Joe writes, why is Orange Cassidy with best friends? Isn't it contradictory to his whatever character to have friends? Just seems like an odd pairing with the alien chick. Agreed. I think it's all a mismatch. I feel like they're all real life friends, so they just group them together. I think Orange Cassidy worked better with the best friends because he just kind of hung out with them. He wasn't their friend. He was just there, and he got hugged by them. But like he was just there. It was kind of like the cool guy that hangs out with people and just like has no real feelings toward them. But that's where the party is, Yeah. And I could almost understand, Chris Statlander hanging out with them. But yeah, Orange Cassidy should be more of a loner.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Orange Cassidy's early work with the Best Friends, where he would like in that street fight where he kind of showed up in a car, like he just like appeared. Like him kind of like passively helping them out was always something I really enjoyed. But now that he's actively a part of this, it's fun. Yeah.
It's weird. Chica Marcus writes, in terms of Dante, I didn't watch this Dynamite yet. That's weird about Dante. We're gonna have to find out.
Yeah.
I'm excited to find out, but who knows? Next up, we have a match. We actually have a match going on. It's Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter to advance the TBS Women's Championship tournament. And we get Thunder Rosa winning. It was a good match. It was Jamie Hayter's best match.
Jamie Hayter's best match. I think the crowd really kicked this match up a notch. Everybody was super, super into it. And even at one point, they were chanting for both Rosa and Jamie Hayter, which was great to see.
I didn't understand that because Jamie Hayter did really shine for me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it was definitely Rosa's match, and
it's always Rosa's match.
Yeah, I mean, they really beat the shit out of each other. It felt like there were a lot of stiff shots in there, but I enjoyed this match. I thought it was good. I definitely think it was Jamie Hayter's best match, and I think it sets up everything perfectly. I think it sets up a nice little Rosa Jade Cargill in the semifinals, and it also like lends a little bit more to the long-term storytelling of Rosa and Britt Baker, because now,
which I'm very excited about.
It looks like Jamie Hayter is probably going to leave the group. She's mad, and then Britt Baker is going to blame Thunder Rosa for that split, and that just adds to this long-term story where eventually, because Thunder Rosa is not going to win the TBS title,
unfortunately,
I still don't think she's going to win it because she needs to beat Baker for the title. So that's what I think, but who knows? She might win.
No, I like your thoughts. I agree with them. Next up, we get Jericho. Chris Jericho is interrupted by 2.0. We get Jericho saying some nonsense, he tries to get a Chicago chant started. Like he's trying to get like the crowd to chant something. What did he try to get them to chant? Because they were not into it.
Blockhead, SpongeBob.
Or something stupid. He could like call him like and then they didn't chant it. They barely chant. He's like, and then eventually he's just like, that's good enough. He just kept on going. It was just uncomfortable, but I do think that this 2.0 just kind of like interfering or like walking through people's segments is a pretty cool little deal. I just hate that the interruptions happen so quickly.
Yeah. Agreed. I think 2.0 should always be on my television. 2.0 should have fought CM Punk tonight, not QT Marshall. Handicap match. I don't care. I just want to see him.
Yeah. Well, Colt Cabana should have fought CM Punk tonight. That's what everyone wanted to see. Pretty angry that they didn't do that, but they will give it to us one day. I'm sure of it, right?
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Next up, we get Friendsgiving. We get our only Thanksgiving segment on the show, which wouldn't be bad, but there was no food fight. We get Britt Baker, Tony Schiavone, and Rebel. They share thanks, and they talk about the big Black Friday deal match with Rio. It's a Black Friday deal match.
Yeah, I know. It's such a silly name.
What are the stipulations of a Black Friday deal? If you were to guess, what would be the stipulations?
If the winner gets something like fantastic at a very cheap price.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Good guess. Well, we're gonna find out because it's this Friday. I am fine with them doing like the Minnesota street fight and things of that nature, but like some of these, like a Black Friday, like why not be a leftovers match and have it be like a leftovers match and make a fun thing out of it where like the losers of the night all are now the lumberjacks. And they're pissed.
Well, I guess they did the same thing, right? They did the same thing. Maybe it's like going to be a gimmick now. Like they did it was like a trick or treat street fight with Abaddon. And if Abaddon won, she got a shot at Britt Baker's title. So now they're doing the same thing again, where it's now a Black Friday deal match. And if Riho wins, she'll get a shot at Britt Baker's title. Now, that being said, Britt Baker, Riho, probably going to be a pretty good match.
It's probably going to be a better match. I'm going to skip over that segment in Jim Cornette's podcast where he talks about it because he's terrible. He's just the worst with a lot of things.
I don't know why I like to watch when I listen/watch to anything Jim Cornette, I go to YouTube and I can be very selective. It's like, oh, he's talking about this one thing. I'll watch this. Like he's talking about the history of Memphis wrestling. Sure.
It's so hard. It's so hard to listen to him talk about do his sponsors because he just honestly, if I were a sponsor, I would not sponsor his podcast because what he does is he makes fun of your product. He has like this nuts, like this assorted nuts thing. He's just like, yeah, you gotta get your nuts and don't just like he's just making jokes about nuts the entire time. And I couldn't imagine as an advertiser that this is beneficial for my business. Yeah, but we can't talk. Let's not talk about.
Yeah, one thing I will say about this segment to go back to it. I remember watching that the Casino Battle Royal and picking up on the moment where Riho wasn't actually eliminated. And I was like, that's really weird. It took them, 3 months to pay it off, but I guess they're finally paying it off, which is good. Maybe someone finally noticed.
That's pretty funny. I forgot about that as well, but it was a Casino Battle Royale where nothing really matters. Let's move on. We got honestly, the biggest what of the night for me. The biggest what of the night is the match, Colt Cabana versus Bryan Danielson. I was very disappointed by this match because how short it was.
Yeah.
It was so short. This honestly should have started the night.
Agreed.
It should have started the night. They should have had the same amount of time that CM Punk and QT Marshall had.
Yes.
They literally flip them. Literally have CM Punk have this match with QT Marshall where he beats the shit out of them and like kind of like embarrassing. This was embarrassing to Cole. I think he chipped a tooth.
I saw that. Yeah.
Did he chip a tooth?
I agree with you completely about this. I was really disappointed. Not from like Colt did a couple of things that were cool, but like he should have done more. He could have done more. There should have been more chain wrestling. Yeah, absolutely. It was really frustrating that like Jabroni QT Marshall got all this time against Punk when it should have just been a squash, and it made Punk look weak. Look, it did two things. Like it made Punk look weak, and it gave a potential great match. Like the thing is, nobody was expecting QT and Punk to light the house on fire. Exactly.
But Colt and Bryan were like that was going to be a big deal. Chica Marks writes, "Who chipped a tooth?" So I think it was Colt, and I think I know when. Did you see when he was doing the foot stomps in the face?
Yeah. Well, I saw. Yeah, go for it.
So Bryan Danielson wins the night with a his yes lock, or what does he call it, label lock. Before that, he has those stomps in the face that he's been doing, and he starts stomping in Colt's face, and then he stops for a second. And then he starts giving real ginger ones, like real nice ones. And I think he chipped his tooth there. But that was the match, and we both agree it was too short. But after the match, we get a really cool segment, which Tony Schiavone comes out, interviews Bryan, and he brings back something from his champion of Planet Earth phase in WWE. He's like, I noticed that when I was last in Chicago, y'all loved me, and now you don't. Seems like you're being real fickle. And I love when he calls wrestling fans fickle. I think it's the funniest thing because it's true.
It's true. It's 100% true. Yeah.
And they ate it up. He just trashed them for a little bit. Hangman Page comes out. They have this little stare down. Hangman challenges to a fight. He's like, yeah, of course you would do that. I just had a match. That sounds like more like coward shit. And then he's like, you could get the first hit. Punk's like, Brian's like, I don't want to do that. Slaps him. They have a little go back and forth. Almost gets the buckshot. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, buckshot. Yeah, buckshot lariat.
And then he powders out of the ring. What are your thoughts on this segment?
I thought it was fantastic. I thought everything after the match was fantastic. Poor Colt. I thought it was great. You know what I was thinking about it? And look, you're not going to find a bigger fan of Kenny Omega. Well, you probably will, but I'm a big fan of Kenny Omega. But I am trying to think about his entire title run right now. And outside of the exploding barbed wire death match that he and Moxley had, I don't think I was ever excited for any of his title defenses or as excited as I am about this match.
Yeah.
This match is I'm so excited for this match. I think it's going to be fantastic. They've already done an excellent job in 2 weeks of building this matchup, and it's probably going to happen pretty soon. I think it's going to happen at Battle of the Belts. That's what I would assume.
I think the reason that is, and you're making a good point, we weren't really excited for any of Kenny's matches because we just knew he was going to lose to Hangman the entire time. He was just holding onto the belt until he could give it off to Hangman, and everyone knew it. So every single match came with this caveat that like, oh, it's just for now, like you're having this match, but like, I don't know, like I think Hangman's going to win, but I don't know that.
Sure. Yeah. And I also think that too, the thing is like, I mean, it helps that, Hangman's opponent is Bryan Danielson, Christian's great, but like, there's no way that Christian was ever going to beat Kenny. And then there was that 3-way with Pac and Orange Cassidy. And like, there was no way that was ever like that Kenny was going to lose that. Like all of his matches that he ever had, there was no way, but this has like been built really strongly so far. And you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. We got a comment here and talking about the Black Friday deal match. We got Joe Ridlitz writing, winner needs to trample their opponent to death. Winner gets an old Hulk Hogan soft buddy from the 80s, a $2 copy of No Holds Barred. That's a good idea, Joe. Or a copy of Suburban Commando. Their choice.
You're a big Suburban Commando guy, aren't you?
I really do love Suburban Commando.
Yeah.
There was I think it was on the Ninja Turtles VHS, the first one. They had the trailer for it. No, it was the second Ninja Turtles. They had the trailer for it. And I just remember really being into that trailer. When I saw the movie, I liked it, but the trailer.
I've been thinking a lot about Hulk Hogan these days. And I think we're going to talk a little bit more about him on Saturdays, the Weekly Wrestle.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about him on the Weekly Wrestle. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was making sure that I didn't say it wrong. We get this Saturday, the Weekly Wrestle, where we cover the news, we cover tweets, we cover everything, right?
I've watched every episode of the new season of Ruthless Aggression, as some might see from the tweets that the LLW interns are putting out there.
The LLW interns have been hot on the case.
So I may do a quick review of the Ruthless Aggression season 2. Real short preview. It's all bullshit. Anyway, let's keep going.
Spoilers. Moving on, we get a Chris Statlander versus Ruby promo, which was exciting.
I'm so excited for this.
It made me excited for the match, even though I'm not really. I really like Chris Statlander as a performer, as a wrestler. Do not like her as a character. The more I hear her do this thing with the alien stuff and not really have any real point to her being there, it's kind of weird. And Ruby, I like her as a character, as a person, but I don't like her as a performer just yet in AEW. So we're gonna see. I'm excited for this match.
Yeah, me too. I think, I don't know. I'm just really excited. I could talk to you about Chris Statlander's character and like what it all means for a long time, but like, do I know what I'm talking about? No. So we can just keep going.
We're killing it here. This loser leaves wrestling. Now we got the main event of the night, and I was about to write this off as just a bullshit 8-man tag like they always do, and it was a bullshit 8-man tag like they always do. But there was something different about this one. Something I can't really put my
hold on a second. Hold on a second.
What do you got to say?
I don't know if they've ever done an 8-man tag in the history of AEW.
They've done 5. They've done 10.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. They've done so many. I'm sorry.
They've done a million.
Yeah,
maybe they haven't done 8.
Maybe they haven't done 8.
They've done 6. They've done 10. They've done 12. They've done 15. That happened? I don't know.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. I appreciate that commentary because it fired me up right there. I was just like, no.
I was thinking of a 4-way dance. I still don't think they've done a 4-way dance.
Yeah, I don't think they've done a 4-way dance. Oh, they were about to.
It's about to. Yeah, that's coming.
Yeah, we can't wait. But this match, okay, started off whatever. Cody's getting in there. He gets a mixed response, and he's getting this weird thing.
He wasn't getting no mixed response. He was getting booed.
No. At the beginning, it was a little mixed. It was a little mixed. Okay. Like there was he was getting some offense in, and some people were cheering, some people weren't, and he was starting to get into it. He starts taking off his belt, and he gets a reaction. He's just like, but I can't hit him with it, because that would be a disqualification. It's not meant for this match. Well, I'm just going to throw the belt in the crowd, Which is, no big deal. He does
that every week. He does it all the time.
No big deal. Not a big deal. They throw it back. The Chicago crowd throws it back in, literally disrupts the entire match. Andrade loses it, takes the belt, throws it underneath the ring. But later on in the match, Cody's talking to someone from the ringside, and obviously he's shook. You can see it in his eyes. Cody is shook. And
well, so was Aubrey. Aubrey got hit with it. She got hit with it in her foot, like it hit her in the foot. And she's like, "What was that?" And it's the belt. She looked shook. She was angry. Andrade was angry. Everyone in the match was angry.
Everyone was angry.
JR was angry. JR was pissed because JR was like, "This is a great match, and all anybody's going to talk about is this fucking belt."
It's true, but what is so Cody?
Yeah,
Cody is talking to someone while he's on ringside, and he's like almost in his brain, like, "I need to prove a point. I'm gonna prove a point. I want to put the belt back on me. I want to put the belt back on me." So he puts it back on, gets a huge reaction. Everyone in the match is just like, "What was that? Did something just happen?" Because it just gets a huge reaction because they're booing because he put the belt back on. And the match continues. We get a cool Arn Tully spot that was a little weird, but it was fine.
This was a great match.
It was a good match. It was a good match. It just got totally sidetracked by the belt drama. And then he throws the belt into the crowd again, and they start chanting, "Throw it back. Throw it back," and they start chanting "asshole" when they don't.
yeah, absolutely.
You think Cody should have learned his lesson and just stayed away from the belt?
No, I think yes. I mean, I think yes, 100%. If Andrade takes, it's like, do you remember? This was a long time ago, and this was like very random. But there was a beach ball being tossed around during a tag team match in the WWE, and Cesaro was in it, and Cesaro jumped into the crowd and ripped it in half. Like
that was his thing. He was a beach ball killer. He'd do that on house shows. He'd do that on dark matches, and he'd run in and grab the beach ball and destroy it.
But like, okay, so let's say like, oh, someone has another beach ball and it gets like bumped over the guardrail, and then like, I don't know, Big E, if they're fighting the New Day, he takes it and he's like, yeah, and throws it back into the crowd. Like, no. Your opponent is clearly furious about this, and he literally tried to get rid of it and forget about it. And you're going to be like, no, give that back to me. What are you? It
was very selfish.
Let's go. Come on. Yeah.
He took so much attention away from the match. I hope those guys chewed him out about it, because they're like, you took away from this match because of your hubris. You threw the belt in the crowd. They threw it back. Not your fault. Everything after that, you grabbing it back, throwing it back to the crowd, you distract for the match. Honestly, you shouldn't have thrown it into the crowd in the first place. I don't think that's a good idea to throw a big leather with a big metal buckle into the crowd and then be mad when they throw it back.
Well, you have to understand, like, not you, but like the world has to understand.
No, you're saying me.
No, I'm not.
I have to understand.
No, you don't have to. No, you don't have to understand anything. Cody is a big dumb idiot. He's completely oblivious to everything, and he's been throwing that belt in the crowd for months and months. And I don't understand how no one's gotten hurt, because that is a big, heavy. If you hit a kid, I mean, it's gonna send a kid for a loop. And the thing about, like, okay, hold on a second. I just need to say, thinking about it now, Dax Harwood is an excellent professional wrestler. Like maybe a top 5. This is bold, but maybe even a top 5 professional wrestler in the company from like a work standpoint. What a great worker. And Andrade, there was a really funny moment. I don't know if you noticed this, but they went to commercial, and then they came back, and Andrade just wasn't wearing pants anymore. Like his pants had just disappeared.
Yeah.
It just disappeared.
What happened to his pants? I thought it was a Cash Wheeler.
I really like these 4 guys. I really like these 4 guys together.
I like everyone in the ring. Yeah. I like absolutely
Cody
everyone
shouldn't be in these matches, though. If he wants to get booed, put him in the ring with these 7 other guys who are excellent workers and absolutely loved by every audience that they go and they wrestle in front of. The audience loves them because they're such good wrestlers. And Cody's a good wrestler, but he's not on the level of all of these other 7 guys.
Oh, he is.
Okay.
He is on the level. Like he's an amazing.
Great. Yeah.
No, he's just as good as any of them. He's better. I'm sorry. Like while they could do more acrobatic things, he's better than Pac. He'll have a better match than Pac. He'll have a better match than Pac. He'll have a better match. Like they could do more amazing things. But Cody's matches, if he's given it, like his Goldust match, was one. Tell me a Pac match that blew you away the way that did.
Pac versus Andrade. But here's the thing: it didn't blow me away like that. Hold on a second. You
think that's the same?
Hold on a second. Time out. You're right. Nobody. I don't think I've ever. Well, that's not true. Hangman Kenny also got me as emotionally invested as they got me emotionally invested. It also did help though that Dustin was there. Dustin is a king.
That's true. But I'm just saying Cody is a big match guy, and that takes a special talent that some of these guys I don't think have yet. They haven't had big match.
That's
matches.
fair. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair.
So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that like saying that he's not on the level as them, I think is inaccurate. It's just that people hate him as a person. Like if this was a different time and place, like if this was just Cody just being in there, being Cody without all this, like he would just fit in just as well. He's just like he's a little bit, he fits in right with FTR. He fits right in, similar style of wrestling.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
So like I just honestly I felt bad for him when they threw the belt back. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I also felt bad that like there was a moment where he got tagged in. Every time he got tagged in, he got thunderous boos. And then at one point he gets pulled, the referee gets distracted. He gets pulled to the heel corner and all four of them start kicking the shit out of him. And the crowd went wild. They loved it.
They lost it. It was pretty great. It was pretty good. And then we get Malachi Black spitting some black mist into Pac's face. And then we get a DDT, that special DDT that Andrade does for the win. We actually have some comments here. I forgot to mention. Joe writes about ruthless aggression. Aren't all of WWE's documentaries BS? I believe they are working on a Vince bio for Netflix. Yeah, that's going to be a hard-hitting expose.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're working on a documentary specifically about the steroid trials in the early 90s. Talk about a bunch of bullshit. That's what that's going to be. Whoa.
Well, actually, I have specific thoughts about it, and I don't want to come out as a WWE apologist, but I don't think they were in the wrong with those steroid trials.
I don't think they were either, but they're going to like be painted much more so. The problem is, do we want to get into this? We don't have to get into this.
Now maybe we'll save it for the weekly wrestle.
Yeah,
you should check out the weekly wrestle. We're going to talk about
steroids.
Ruthless Aggression. We're going to talk about
the sex scandal.
Sure,
we talked about before.
We'll talk about it more. Chica Marks writes, at PWG, we got to criticize Cody's neck tattoo with a professional tattoo artist. It was great. Yes, we went to PWG this past week, and we did trash talk that neck tattoo. Horrible placement, horrible tattoo, no respecting tattoo artist. If this tattoo artist said, no respecting tattoo artist would have done that.
Really?
Because it's just it's terrible placement, terrible tattoo. Like it's just the way it is just no one has it like that. No one does a neck tattoo in that way. Having it in front, maybe, sure. Back, something like that. But like having it on the side, just on the jawbone or wherever it is, it's just gross. And then we got Joe writing right here. Cody's a better storyteller in the ring. It's one of the good things he got from WB. He's not just about hitting his spots. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for brilliantly illustrating my point.
Well, the thing about that is, I agree with that. Sort of. Yeah, I mostly agree with that. But in a match with Andrade and Pac and the other guy,
they're all
Malachi.
darlings. They're all darlings.
Yeah, and everybody's sick of Cody, so of course he's gonna get booed.
Bad.
That's why he needs to keep wrestling Anthony Ogogo. Everyone will cheer him then.
No, that'll get go home. He needs to fight someone that's just as despised as him, and I can't think of who that is.
I can't either. Joey Janela. Let's do it.
Now what?
Like he would be a good opponent for Eddie Kingston, but he would need to be a heel. But he could be a good opponent for Eddie because they would just beat the shit out of each other, and it would be good.
Him versus Jericho. That's what I want.
They should revisit that. I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think we figured out a lot of the problems. I think the belt thing is gonna. I can't wait to read about it tomorrow. I just hope to hear that belt thing became a big argument backstage. I want Andrade to flip out on Cody, just being like, "Why'd you put the belt back on? Why'd you put the belt back on?" That's my hope. Any other thoughts about this great AEW Dynamite?
No, I don't think so. Let me think. I think Battle of the Belts, that's going to be really exciting. Their first Clash of the Champions style show. That's going to be really fun. I think that's it. I think would you be excited for a Jamie Hayter Britt Baker feud?
No.
Okay.
Jamie Hayter hasn't shown me enough. Hayter hasn't shown me enough, except in this match. And actually, I had to rewatch it because I had some internet issues. So, I should really watch again because you're saying they hit each other a lot. I didn't see that. So I must have missed some portions. But I'm going to double check that. But not terribly. I want Britt Baker to I think Britt needs a something fresh, and I don't think she has it right now. I feel like being surrounded by Reba and Jamie Hayter is not good for Britt right now.
Yeah, I think she should turn face. She should become a baby face.
She should have been face. Honestly, I think she's becoming less liked because of how long she stayed heel. She would have been a monster face if they switched her in August, September when they started touring.
Yeah, as soon as she became champion, she should have become a baby face.
Yeah, Britsburg should have been a face.
Yeah, 100%.
They wanted her. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Check out the Weekly Wrestle this Saturday. We're going to cover all the things that we want to cover, news and the ruthless aggression, all these great things. We're going to have tweets. We're going to have tweets the week.
We're going to have tweets.
Oh, we're going to have some tweets. And make sure to like, subscribe, listen to the podcast. If you're busy, can't watch the YouTube. I'm starting to post back on there because we're killing it on podcasts.
Killing it.
Russia. Big listeners of LLW. Not even joking. Big listeners in Russia.
They should leave a review. Drop a 5-star review.
All of you should, because they're not listening on Apple. That's where they're not listening.
Oh, okay.
And Joe writes, Britt needs an opponent at her level. Everyone just seems less than. That's true. That's true.
It's funny. Ember Moon is available. So Mia Yim is also available.
We'll see. I'm kind of lukewarm on them right now, but we'll find out. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Loser Leaves Wrestling. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Bye.
Have a great Turkey Day tomorrow.
Happy Thanksgiving. Have a Thanksgiving. Should we do a count out for Tam?
Let's do it.
Not 10 seconds, right?
Just 5.
Just 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ole! Ole! Ole!